the more you delve into it, the more you get into it, a sense of wonder. You say, wow, isn't this amazing? Did someone design it? Is there someone behind it all? And people talk about it could be a god, or it could, but it's so marvelous, isn't it? Yeah. Could it have developed by itself?
The answer is that there is information, energy in the field. Each human has a different set of vibrational frequencies coming from the environment. Gosh. And so what that means is we're like television stations. Yeah. So the idea is that there's an information that's being broadcast, and my cells have a set of antennas that pick up my station. Your cells have an antenna that picks up your station. So we're acting as independent shows in our bodies. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is, if you're watching a TV and the picture tube goes, you say, oh, the television's dead. Mm-hmm. But the question is, did the broadcast stop?
No.
Well, no. And what we now know is this. Yes, I'm receiving a broadcast through these antennas. They're called, actually, the name, self-receptors, receivers of self. There's a broadcast. And so why is it relevant? Because I'm like a little walking television set receiving the Bruce Show right now. If my body dies, does that mean the broadcast stops? The answer, no, broadcast is still there. Well, how would you know if the television broadcast was there? You say, well, if your television broke, you get a new TV, you plug it in, turn it on, and you tune it to the station, boom, it's back on. Now I'm going to tell you something. If I die, and in the future an embryo appears with the same set of antennas that I have on my cells today, it'll be downloading the same show, and I'll be back in a different body for another run. That's called reincarnation.
Wow.
So there's a whole new biological entry into what was called supernatural and all that weird stuff, because they always wanted to keep it out of science. But when quantum physics became the new science, it says that invisible field stuff is more important because it shapes the physical world. So the ancient beliefs, the ancient philosophies of spirits and shapers of the human body and soul now have a quantum physics foundation to it. So we are connected to this all that is, because we're in one massive broadcast, and each one of us is just picking out our own little station out of the whole.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Well, it's so empowering because it says, you know, there's a lot more to us than this physical realm. And the fun part is when you really get down to the bottom line, it says, yeah, the physical body comes and goes. The invisible stuff is always there.
This is unbelievably fascinating stuff. And we've only got a short amount of time and we've used it, Bruce, but I've got it here. It's The Biology of Belief.
Yes.
Wonderful book.
Thank you.
How can people get hold of this if they everything that we've been talking about today, they'd like to know more?
They're supposed to be in bookstores everywhere. I don't know down here as much as back in the States, but Amazon or something like that is always a source. But I think Borders or Whitcoll's probably have it. I sure hope they do.
Yeah, they should have it.
Yeah, I
what a wonderful book.
Oh, it's a
so
bestseller
all the
in the
ideas
States,
that we've expressed today
are clearly written in here. Or, can I just suggest, I have a website.
Okay.
And it's www.brucelipton.com. And all the things that we're talking about, there are articles you can freely download and get a lot of information free off of this website about everything that we're talking about.
What is our purpose?
Our purpose is to come to this planet and create. It's a heaven. People haven't recognized that. Heaven's a place of creation. And this is an opportunity for our energy to come into this body. And if you ask me, well, if you have an energy body, why have a physical body? And the answer is beautiful, because if you were just a spirit, I would ask you, what does chocolate taste like? Or what does a sunset look like? Or what does being in love feel like? None of those you can answer, because all of those come from having a body made out of cells that converts our world into sensations. So for me, we're here to enjoy and sense this world, experience it, and enjoy the ability to create heaven on earth.
Bruce, wonderful, so entertaining. It's been fabulous.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Hopefully one day you'll be able to come back on the program and we'll talk some more about the biology of belief.
I hope we have a number of times. Thank you.